How's it going, Peng Pirates crew? It's your boy Adrian here, and we're back with another video. This is gonna be a really different one from what we usually do. First of all, it's my face, but and I did have another video planned for today. It's gonna be a leader tier list. But with what happened last Friday, I kind of wanted to make this video, just kind of talking about how frustrating it was as a player and kind of channel everyone's frustration into a video. I know a lot of people are feeling kind of the same way I do, a little bummed out. But for those of you that don't know, this Friday was the Texas regional signups, and it was also just the Treasure Cup regionals, or the Treasure Cup signups, and it did not go well at all. I think it went worse than the online regional signups this time around, and there was just a lot of stuff. So for those of you that don't know, Carta Magica and PPG were the first signups to go on. They went at 9 Eastern Standard Time, so they were at like 6 a.m. for us at like Pacific Standard Time, and this just sucked, man. So like right at 6, I hit register and everything comes up, and then like it's just blank. Like you can't put in your card info, you can't really put in anything, and that was the case for everyone pretty much. So what happened was there was something that went wrong in terms of the best coast pairings for both PPG and Carta Magica. And what ended up happening was Carta Magica announced that, hey, we are gonna redo this. We're closing registration for this event, and then we're gonna start this back up at 9 p.m. so we can get it figured out. Little did they know, Best Coast Pairings had a different plan, or someone wasn't in the loop, and they fixed whatever problem was on the site, and then they just opened the registration for the event without Carta Magica's knowledge, putting them in such a weird and awkward spot, first of all. So I don't think, I honestly, as of right now, I don't think we could really blame Carta Magica, because we just don't know in the back end, and they do so much in terms of like planning and everything. This really is like a best coast pairings problem, in my opinion. Like, and the team was already talking about like reconsidering their partnership with them, and I think, I think that's a good idea. I think that's something that they need to move forward with, because there are just a ton of other sites that you can use that I know it's very convenient for best coast pairings because you already have like the app and everything set up, so you don't have to have something separate. But I think there needs to be something else done, because from the online regionals and of course the online treasure cups, it's just not working. Luckily I got into both because I was already up, and I was gonna stay up because of the play TCG, and the Texas regional signups were at 7, so I was just like refreshing these. I also just did not trust best coast pairings, because the only reason why I got into the first wave of online regionals was because of the same debacle where like Carta Magica, they had 41 slots open because the best coast pairing site crashed, and then it suddenly just went up without people knowing about it, and that's how I got in online regionals. So I just did not trust them. But this is so frustrating to deal with, because there's just a lot of people that want to play in these tournaments, and obviously so, especially for the treasure cups. Like for the regionals, a lot of renown is there, but like the pricing isn't as good. For the treasure cups, the pricing is just amazing, right? Like you get the event packs, you get a higher chance at that serialized Luffy, you get the choppers and everything. It's just such cool pricing that everyone wants access to, and I want everyone that wants to play in these events to play. So other than that, like I think the first step is just stop using best coast pairings for these events. Tixer was, I don't know about you guys, but like the play TCG one with Tixer, this was the smoothest one. I literally got in and got out in like a minute. There was I had zero problems with this one. I did not get into core with their RK9 sign up. I've heard mixed feelings about RK9. People say that it's good, that it's seamless, but I mean, in my experience, it just wasn't, and I know for a lot of my friends too, it wasn't. But that's rather here nor there. But I think a this is like a problem, but the overarching problem is that there's just not enough um there's just not enough spots for these events. Like, you have a lot of people, especially in North America, like you have thousands of people with only like what is this, like 2,000 slots to give out. That's really tough for people to deal with, and there's a multitude of different solutions that you can do. One of them is I understand why the regionals are like a little bit less, there's like a little bit less in terms of the regionals, because you don't want that many nationals invites to go around and everything like that. But for the treasure cups especially, I feel like because people are saying, oh, these tournaments should be uncapped, which I completely and wholeheartedly agree with. But the problem with uncapping it is like there's a little bit to do with the pricing. Also, I just feel like, especially for these treasure cups, there should just be more of them. Like, you can make the serialized Luffy even like only top 4 if you were to run like double the amount of events, which is pretty much the same as like doubling the cap or uncapping it, I realize. But in terms of participation and like the tops, like it would be great, right? If you wanted like serialized Luffy because the other promos, I'm pretty sure they don't matter as much, right? Like the Zoro, the Choppers, like those are going to be in circulation, and it's not like they're a serialized card. But I feel like there should just be more of these. Like, in my head, there's no reason that there needs to be just 4 within like the wave, right? There's no reason to really restrict them other than prizing. But for these big tournaments, I see them as like almost practice for the regionals, because the regionals are what matters if you want to be in like the championship series. These treasure cups are really just for fun. They're really just for prizing. So I feel like giving out more prizing to more people, that's not really gonna outrage a lot of people, So in my opinion, the easiest way to do this is just have more of these. Like, if we could have double the amount of tournaments, like 8 treasure cups to deal with, like that would be awesome. The second solution that I've kind of seen thrown around, and that I agree with too, is some of these events should be on the same day, in my opinion, because, and I know that is a little bit tougher on people, because it's like, oh, what if I'm not available, like restricting the amount of days. There's pros and cons to every one of these solutions, but it really sucks to hear that like one person got into like all 4 events and another person got into 0 events. And that is absolutely like, that situation really blows. And especially since that I've heard a lot of people are like scalping these events and like kind of like pawning off their, just for the participation prizing. I know a lot of people that I've talked to too do this, like where they really only want to compete just for the participation stuff. And in my opinion, like it's not that it's like scummy. You could definitely do it, but like some of these people are here to compete, especially for the online regionals. Like they want a chance to be in the nationals tournament. So that's really important that those players get in. And I feel like having like 2 tournaments be on the same day will really help players help players get in, because you have to choose one or the other. You can't get into both events. So you're gonna have different people in each event. So that's super important. And then like, especially like, you don't even have to have like one date for all of these events, right? You could have 2 events be on the same day. Like, let's say Core and Pro Play Games are available on like the same week. You could have that so that like you either go to one or the other. There's a bunch of different ways you could do that. If you want to keep if you still want to keep that cap and you still want to keep the prizing, I think you have to do something like this, where you prevent the amount of times like one player could just compete in different events. Because I think and I'm saying this as someone who got into 3 events, like, and was trying to go for 4. I think it sucks. Like, ideally, everyone would get into like all 4 events, or as many events as they want to. But if in this situation is like you need to keep this cap for these events like at 512, I think that's a good alternative. Just have some way of like you know, this Bandai, you could even have it like you could even have it so that like these events are still on different days, but maybe you have like a Bandai thing, or like these tournaments are in, you know, coordination with each other, where it's just like, oh, this Bandai ID has you know, he's already signed up like for one of the tournaments. He should not be able or eligible to like sign up for another one. Of course there are like profile things, like you'd have multiple profiles, but I feel like taking that extra step is just a little bit more hard, is just a little harder to do, right? But what do you guys think? I just wanted to kind of channel my frustrations, use the comments as like a kind of venting place if you guys have any frustrations about it. But let me know, is there any other like solutions that you guys can think of? I just really want this to be out there, and I want people to keep talking about it, because if we don't talk about it, it's not going to get better. People are not going to take action. So let me know what you think. Of course, there's also a multitude of different problems with this game, like in terms of stock and everything, in terms of the ban. Maybe we'll talk about those. But yeah, just let me know what you guys think. What solutions have you guys come up with? Tell me in the comments. And I'll see you guys on the next one. The next video will be a meta tier list video. So thanks for watching, everyone. And just good luck with work and school and everything. And I'll see you later.